You're listening to a Lost in the Groove segment.
Having good vibes with your bones and joints. Taking a trip into the groove. American groove. American groove. Into stoner world. Gonna
What do you want me to do?
That.
What exactly do you want me to do, Karissa?
Do it. Do it again. Welcome to American Groove.
Category is gayness to your anus.
I like the idea of like a gay vampire.
Oh my god.
Right? He
The
likes
amount of
to
times
suck.
Karissa has this thing for vampires, period. And like, just to top it all off, she's like always popped up this idea of just gay vampires.
No, I haven't. This is the first time. Have I
No,
said
you've
it before?
mentioned this before. You've mentioned this before. Like, this is
Okay.
not, listen, your fantasies and fetishes have been out and open many times in full.
That's
So
not a fetish. Okay, but like
can be.
no, well, it could be for someone else, but like I'm not into the gay vampire.
Only the aesthetic of it. I you know.
Well, no, I mean they made the vampires in they've definitely done it in different TV shows, like when they did the new version of Interview with a Vampire on AMC, they made Louis and Lestat gay with each other, which I thought was like, well, that's not like how the novel was, but like whatever you like. But I mean, like, I kind of like it when they do it with like a news story or something like that. But like, that's not what I meant by like a gay vampire. Like, I don't know. I thought of it like more in like a like they seem they're more like vampires that just like happen to be gay. I mean, like an outwardly gay vampire. But then I can also think of like an
Hello,
outwardly.
I'm about to suck your blood.
Think about it though. Like when I think about like a lesbian vampire, like I'm almost
Whoa.
like a little afraid. Like.
Butch ass, pussy ass motherfucker. I'm gonna put
I
your
mean,
head
like,
down on the floor and I'm gonna be sucking your neck. I've been sucking on your neck so
she's
good
gonna win.
that all the blood come out of your body.
She's gonna win.
She's definitely gonna win. And your tush might hurt.
Oh my god. I don't know.
Gay
I always like to
vampires.
think that vampires don't bang. Like,
They have to bang. I mean,
no,
what else?
they don't. They do not bang. I'm sorry.
Why not?
No, they don't. That's
So what
part
do they
of
do?
that's part of the curse of being a vampire, is that you're like, you don't get to fuck anymore. Like, but it's been like done
Your
in
dick
all
is gonna
these.
fucking fall off? Like your vagina? Like your clit is just gonna like mangle and deteriorate?
You're dead. You're stoned. You're not. No. And for some reason, like the HBO vampires, they fuck. And honestly, I like a reality where vampires fuck. Like, I think that's cool. But,
Yeah.
like, for some reason, it makes more sense to me that a vampire doesn't get to enjoy, like, the happiness or, like, the, like, anything of, like, sex. Like, I think they're, like, dead and they're lifeless. But, like, they drink blood. So, like, maybe they could have sex, like, right when they drink the blood or something like that. But, like, other than that, it doesn't make any sense. But Dracula used to get people pregnant, and Dracula is like one of the like original like vampire stories, so like I guess I can kind of like excuse it as like being part of like the original stories. Like it's kind of possible that
Well, yeah, the origin of vampires
the
in
vampires
itself.
could fuck. Yeah, it's
I
kind of possible.
kind of honestly, I like this. Like the origin of vampire sexuality is very gray because I've read Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I should do that. Like, I've always been a big fan, but I never thought of actually like reading the novel.
I read the book
By the way,
many
this
years
isn't
ago.
gay enough right now, but like, okay.
Oh, fuck no. I mean, I'm gay, all right? So this counts as a gay enough episode for you, all right? You're hearing a gay person talking about Dracula. I read the book, and it's very different as to the aesthetic of what a vampire is to what we know of today, because Dracula is very much described as an older gentleman, kind of more upper class satire, but kind of colorless and kind of gray. You could kind of tell he's a creature. He's not really a human being in any shape or form. And his main goal is to survive. So his whole premise is to survive. And he is the most powerful at how to survive. And he makes that very clear. It's kind of like we're like you're talking about, there's the sexual vampires, the powerful, like the destructive ones. Where more of the story of like Dracula was is here's Dracula in Dracula's castle, and here how he lives his life. And this is what happens when you try to enter his life.
Yeah, so he really just kind of keeps like to himself in his fortress. How's he feeding? He turns into a bat and kind of flies in and out.
I think
I
so.
don't really know.
I
I
don't remember the
just
whole entire book, but I remember bits and pieces of it.
yeah.
This is coming from a person full of
I feel
learning
like
disabilities.
okay, if anybody wants to steal my idea, we're all gonna
Oh,
know that it's stolen.
from
Okay,
here.
because I'm
This
gonna
is
say it
proof.
right now. I
Wow.
think it would be cool to write a story about a vampire who does his attacks on a pride festival. Like, and he's like a gay vampire. But he's like really disappointed with himself. Like, every time he like falls in love and he like meets somebody that he really, really likes and he thinks he's gonna go somewhere and he like gets really excited and they like hook up and then he's like, fuck, I killed him.
Where is this coming from?
I'm a writer.
Oh my god. Well, I kind of like this too because,
This is me writing a story on the podcast. It's a good little story, right? We've got like this like
okay,
vampire
backstory.
that other people don't understand, and like I feel like when a person is gay, they kind of feel like they already have like a secret that they can't like tell other people about. So this is kind of like a glamorizing that story. Like we should
Ooh.
write this story together.
Backstory for this character, okay?
Oh.
Uh, so he was alive in the 1960s, and because he was a homosexual, he never felt accepted, and then he gave into the vampire life, which now means that he's dead. And now he has to experience all those decades where he can see how homosexuals are now accepted.
That is so cool.
Mm. And
Cuz
that's
he's
why he
like
specifically attacks Pride Month, and Pride parades.
well, no. I don't feel like he's like attacking it
He wants the
intentionally.
blood.
It's like it's unmeditated. Like but
Premeditated.
like
No, oh, is it unmeditated or premeditated?
it's not premeditated because I was saying that like the murders are like not intentional. Like he wants to like start a relationship with somebody, but every time he hooks up, he like drinks their blood. And like I think that he would like to turn somebody into a vampire. He's just like waiting for like this like right person. But I had never thought about the fact that he could I like the idea that this vampire how cool would it be if we had two vampires, okay?
Whoa.
We had the older vampire that you're talking about who's like
Osiris.
seen all of the generations, and like seen it.
Osiris.
But then I have my
Osiris.
character who's this like young vampire who's kind of like understanding what it's like to be gay, and he like is the one that keeps like accidentally killing people, okay? But then he meets the vampire that you're talking about, the older one, and then
Osiris.
he shares all this knowledge with him and also
Oh.
talks about being a gay vampire. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like he like talks
Getting the
about like
vibes,
everything.
the
And
feels,
finally he's able to connect with another gay person because he can't kill this vampire. Like they
and
end up
then
having
they
like a
fuck.
conversation, you know what I mean?
No,
Well,
they
I
don't.
think it'd be
They don't
cooler
fuck.
if they had like a platonic relationship, but they could fool around a little bit, you know?
Little jerk off action on that stone grind.
But then like they could have this cool kind of like, like, hey, we don't have to do this all the time, but like I like, I respect you too. And
So
like
can we like hook up in like 35 years? Or maybe 36? I'm thinking. Because then I'll be like in Venice, Italy at that time. you know? I think it'll be like just be great. Is Louis in trouble? I can hear Louis
Louis,
being
go
called.
downstairs.
He's going downstairs.
He's at the top of the stairs acting funny.
Louis is had a recent recovery from an incident of
Oh.
Chinese, and he was sick, very very sick. But
Dogs
he
are
made.
not supposed to have Chinese food.
Well, I think we learned this from this incident that that's very much the case.
I didn't feed him the Chinese food.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying overall, this is just a lesson about not giving dogs Chinese food. But thankfully, he got the right medication. He's back to normal. He's back to being Louis.
Yeah. I got pet insurance that was like actually good. Like
Can you tell me
I
about it?
don't what?
What's the name of the pet insurance?
I think it's just like the pet insurance that my actual clinic offers. Like it's like their coverage. I would say it's like the house red of the vet clinic.
So random, Karissa.
It's just kind of their like, basic coverage, the house coverage. And but I got really really good pet insurance. They covered like almost everything that I needed to do for Louis, and it was such a better experience than like the vet care that I used to get in Los Angeles. Now, I'm not saying they did a terrible job or anything, but like I had a way better experience here. Um I feel like I don't know. I feel like our pets like really really deserve like the best attention. I also feel like going to doctors as like a human being, I don't really get like the very best care in general. So, it's like sometimes I could be like, "Oh, care, for animals isn't that great." And it's like, "Yeah, but like care for humans isn't even that great." And it's like it doesn't really excuse one or the other, but I'm just saying like, God, let's just all get the best freaking care we can possibly try to get. Like honestly. Like it's like I can't make any sense out of all of it. I'm just gonna try for the best care out of everything. Like I went in there
Before the
and
vampires come to suck all of your blood and kill you, make sure to get this taken care of before that happens.
I don't know, I just feel like since I don't have like human children and I have a dog child, um I have a lot of, like, fight in me for my child because, like, this is my only one, and so I can get kind of like, "And what else do we need to do?" Like, I have a lot of energy there to, like, care for my animal.
I do
Um,
too. It's just the lack of money and funds. So, I mean, I'm gonna definitely look into pet
yeah.
coverage in the future,
I've
but
just been living with my parents, so it's, like, something that I can budget a little bit easier. Yeah.
because it could be expensive. It's not like the
Oh,
cheapest
hell
thing.
yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah. It's very expensive. I know. I used to be, like, on a very different budget before I, like, moved in here and, like, moved to misery 6 months out of the year.
But thankfully, you haven't been bitten by a vampire yet, so you're okay. We're all about the artist. That is the whole purpose of this podcast, period. And you have a really valuable tool. You can share this with artists, people that are creative, someone that can enjoy this podcast and really enjoy the experience of Lost in the Groove. So, with that, let's jump back to today's episode, shall we?
No. I still think our fiction novel could be really amazing. You could make it a graphic novel, but I think it only needs, like, a few pictures here and there. I don't think it needs to be, like,
Only the sex
100%.
scenes.
What'd you have in mind?
I don't know. I was thinking like maybe like a bathtub with like
Oh. Do vampires like water? Is that like a
No, this is an empty bathtub, like an old like dish type of like
who just
tub
hangs
bathtub.
out in like the old like clawfoot tub like with no water in it?
But wait, there would be a swing.
It'd just be blood. The
There'd be a
bathtub
sex.
of blood
There'd be a sex swing, and then it would be like above.
above the bathtub.
It'd be above the bathtub.
Okay.
Two vampires just looking down on each other, butt naked.
Wait, how are they both looking down on each other?
Well, one's looking up, and then one's looking down.
And that's the drawing?
That's the drawing.
Which one's on top? That's up to them.
What?
Okay, so like these two vampires are like in this room with like a clawfoot tub and a sex swing, and like one's on the swing and one's on in the tub, and they're both looking at each other, and they're making this like, like
Decision.
eye contact.
Do I want it in?
Is it nighttime or daytime? Is it?
Well, I mean, we're gonna go to the general where vampires can't be out during the day due to sunlight, so this would be it.
This would be nighttime because
Yeah.
they've been sleeping all day.
I think most of the stories would primarily take place at night. I mean, we can actually date them. Imagine like where the story is the date, and then like it starts at like 6:30 p.m.
See, this kind of like limits things for the gay pride part of the episode, where it's like they can only go to Pride Fest after the sun goes down, and since Pride is usually in summer, it gives them a much more limited amount of time.
Or they wear umbrellas and sunglasses.
Or they just like are a DJ and they have to like stay like under the
Wow,
umbrella.
gay
No.
vampire DJs.
I feel like
This is hot.
hey, I've seen plenty of them.
Can we like paint them Latino? Like specifically Puerto Rican,
I didn't say that.
Oh no, I did. Listen, honey child, I can be bad when the way I draw my man.
That's what she said.
Girl.
I feel like the vampires aren't supposed to be outside at all during the day, even if they're not in direct sunlight. It's still
And
just
it's also
like
the summer. That's when the sun
it's
is
no
the
good.
strongest.
Yeah. I feel like Pride happens at night. It's just like
A little more dead.
I feel like the sun was kind of out until like 9:00. What, they do more Pride during the day than at night?
There's a lot more partying that goes on at night. So there can be an advantage
is.
where a lot of people are intoxicated and delirious. So for them to just slip in there, grab some bodies, suck their blood out, just drop them off and move on their merry way would be a
That
little bit
wasn't
easier.
the plan though. Like the plan was to like meet somebody, and like ask them if they wanted to be a vampire too, like eventually. But like then I got really excited, got carried away, and we hooked up, and then I just like
Yeah, it happens a lot.
and then I drugged their body,
Shit.
because I was like worried.
Would be
'Cause
kind of
Iowa
like
cops are,
nice.
like
Wouldn't it be gonna be nice, like just like leave a sign, like leave their body like
like a
plopped
sticky
against the wall.
note, like
Yeah.
really sorry.
Really sorry. I drank the blood. I really wanted to fuck him, but didn't work out. Please pick up.
We were like in love, like we
For,
were
like,
gonna
30
spend
minutes.
eternity together, and didn't work out too well.
45 minutes later, I drank you.
I feel like there'd be some like Christian mom somewhere, like Satan killed my baby.
In the name of the Lord.
Is that a terrible joke? I think it is. I don't know why my mind went there. It's
Who
really
fucking cares?
bad.
We're delirious motherfuckers.
I feel like I can't laugh like enough. I feel like I'm like,
Oh,
"Ah,
no.
ha, ha, ha." Like there isn't like a deep enough.
No, of course not. There has to be like
I
that
like my
moment where you're just like,
vampire
ah,
out.
ha, ha.
Did you see these?
very, very like 80s. You know, you need like shoulder pads right now. If you had shoulder pads right now, that would be gold. Actually, gold
Yeah.
shoulder pads.
I don't know. It was funny. Like, I told Brett, I was like, I got my nails done. And he was like, what color did you get? And I was like, red. And he was like, ooh, baby. And I was like,
I don't know what's with men and red nails.
like
You
I was
know,
like, I asked him, I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, there's no words. And I was like, the queens. Queens need some of these, I guess.
I
Yeah.
mean
It's
Marilyn
like
Monroe.
Christmas time, right? Like it's like
Jerk me off, baby. It's like very like Marilyn Monroe because Marilyn Monroe kind of had like she had red nails. And James Mansfield did too. But like these were like sex symbols. You
we
know.
used to call these lady at the bank red. Like when you go into
Oh,
town.
that girl. Gotcha.
It's like the 19 like 40s, 50s, and it's time to go into town to go to the bank, you know,
Pick up your 35 cents at the bank. So you can buy
going to the bank
groceries.
red.
35 cents. Just think about that for a second. 35 cents. It was once.
There's like how many things in black and white movies were actually red?
How do the vampires get money though? I
They
mean,
rob people. And since like they can't die that I mean like they can but they can't really die, like you could steal anything from anyone and you could use like your intelligence of like generations to like figure out how to get money,
what
but
if they
mostly
can
robbing people.
what if they can manipulate people to do what they want?
A lot of times vampires have some type of like what you would compare to like mind control that like Han Solo has, where you have like a Jedi mind control. A lot of times they have like a way of persuasion, which
Ooh.
can help them a lot
Hmm.
with money, but vampires don't usually have any trouble with money. I mean, sometimes they do. A lot of times vampires can do like a very quick like move type thing. Like they can like kind of, like flash from like one place to the other. So I could imagine that that would help a lot with like trying to steal money from places, and then also
Hmm.
like incredible strength. Like you could seriously just like rob like any gas station anytime you wanted, like at any time. Like, and it would just be easy as hell. Like you'd have money. Like rob anywhere. You're fine.
I would kind of also like
You
I don't
already have no
know.
soul. Like what's it matter? Like
I feel like they would be probably driving like a 1969 Mercury Cougar. They'd drive like an old car.
I mean, like before I like tell you this whole like spiel about like how a vampire could get money, like do you think that like maybe they couldn't? Like do you think a vampire would have trouble with
I
money?
think I don't know. This is kind of interesting. I think that they
They could
might
work a night
own.
job if they had to. Go on, sorry.
I think they might own like either a strip club or like a gay burlesque, like
Ooh.
gentlemen's club, something. I don't know, something
Yeah,
gay.
I feel like the older character in our story could own like a gay nightclub, like a
He
gay
like bought
like
it in like
burlesque.
1938 or something crazy like that. From like the
Yeah.
mob. It still
And
runs it.
I feel like the older character could teach the younger character how to not like murder like gay people and how to like respect them and let them live their lives. You know what I mean? Like he could kind of teach him like a little bit of self-control and like learn how to find like a lover. Does the older character have like a lover? I feel like either that character's lover like disappeared or is like on like a trip,
Probably
or
died.
is there. Like either their lover like died or they're coming back. I don't know. Or they're like right there and they're like together. I can't decide like, but I feel like that older character's like vampire story could like come to me. I
It's
feel like
really
yeah. Well,
there's
because like I mean he's a
there's so
gay
many
man,
paths
so
to go
like
to.
he's gonna have like his story about how like he left his family like in the 60s. You know what I mean? And that's gonna like tell a lot about what he's like as a person. I have mad respect for people who started out the gay movement, people who spoke out, people who had the strength to be in an openly gay relationship in a time. You know, they're the pioneers of the freedom and acceptance that we see nowadays. And I just, if we're going to do some pride episodes, I'll just say that I have mad respect for the people who did it when it was the hardest. Um,
A lot of them are not alive anymore.
no, not at all.
A lot
And
of them
I
have
feel like
passed.
yeah, I just, there's something, I feel like it's always hard, but there's something different about, you know, we wanted to talk about gay history, not just pride, but, you know, the way that like different months do different awarenesses. I wanted to talk about, you know, more of like being aware of like the history. And I feel like bringing attention to people who stuck their neck out there when it was the hardest is something that I would take time to say in my podcast during Pride Month. I really respect the people who were ousted by friends or whatever, were ostracized. Like, I know that when I was in high school, when I was in junior high, I felt gay at times and I felt as though I couldn't say anything. And it was a terrible, sad feeling. And I'm so happy that less people have to feel that. And I know that it must have been so much harder. I mean, who knows, but it must have been so much harder even back further in time, like in the 60s, like our vampire character, like I'm talking about like what it must have been like for him to like put his neck out there. Um
Literally.
that's why I think that like vampires are such like a fun like way to tell a story,
In
like with
many
our like little
ways,
pride story. Like I feel like I told you I met that author and he said, you know, he liked making a dramatized version of something that's realistic. I like that too.
it's very much no, I honestly I do. I really like that. And I really like the kind of the attitude of what is a vampire? In many ways, a vampire is what a gay person has to go through sometimes in life, where you're very much an outcast. You're not sometimes accepted, especially when you deal with people that are particularly trans, specifically black trans women, is a whole conversation. But the thing that I've always found so fascinating, even about like looking back in the past, is regardless of all of the issues and the problems that existed, there was always somebody that was willing to put their neck on the line to do something that was completely different. They knew that it can get themselves into a lot of trouble, but they did it anyway. They didn't do it for anyone but themselves. Because the thing in the
That's
end,
impressive.
because the only thing you can do as a gay person is Be the best version of yourself. You don't need anybody's approval.
It's something I work on all the time. Not trying to weigh in everybody, what everybody would want.
Hey, it's Dave, and I quickly just wanted to jump in and say if you've been enjoying the podcast, I'm enjoying this episode, if you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, that'll be so greatly appreciated. Because here's the thing, someone might read that review and make the choice if they want to listen to the podcast. You get to help grow this podcast with us. How fucking cool is that? Let's jump back to today's episode.
And it's like growing up, I always thought that's what you're supposed to do, but I realized like the key is finding that right balance of like holding your needs high and also caring about other people, but not like letting the two impede each other, like finding that balance where it's like I don't have to give away too much of myself to please the other people. I feel like a lot of times we as people imagine that we need to do all these things in order to please the other people. And if we just communicated with the other people a little bit more often, we might realize that their opinions aren't as harsh as we think. And I know that a lot of people, if they could come out, they won't be received properly. But I urge people to come out this month in general. I don't know where that came from. I get chills saying it, but I feel it came from inside. I urge people to come out. Urge people to say, I need to do this. I need to seek it. I need to try it. I need to figure out what it is. I want to cry right now. Oh my God. Like, what am I feeling? No, I do. I think people, even if you're not even gay, maybe give it a little shot if you need to, like, like
You
try
know
it
what I'm
out.
saying?
Like, if you need to, like, I don't know. I just feel like
I always say this,
don't
especially.
don't hurt yourself. Don't close yourself in. But if you need to for your own safety, that like if you're in an environment where somebody's gonna hurt you for coming out, then don't. I'll say that. Like then just stay tight. You'll get there. It'll be okay. But like and then there'll be the right time for it. Like always protect yourself. Like, don't put yourself in hazard.
we
But
talked
I just if you can, try to find ways
we
to
talked
come out.
about you remember we talked about last week with like even Venus extravaganza, which she's not the only one. There are many, many other people that were like her. And she's gone. And the thing is that I say this with the strongest emotions and feelings possible. You don't you need yourself to approve yourself. Because when things get dark, and trust me, I am not in a good place in my life right now. But the second that you forget who you are and what you're capable of, because let me tell you something, I've seen some incredible human beings that are trans, gay, bi, straight, lesbians, you name it. It just takes the effort to be yourself. That's why you keep
Yeah.
going. Jesus,
Nothing's all
Karissa, making everything fucking deep and shit, crying and tissues.
I cried. I don't know if I've cried on the podcast
Oh my
before.
god, I think so. A few times.
It's really really it's important to me
It
that
is.
people live their journey. You need to live your journey. You need to, even if it's making some mistakes, try to be good to people. Try not to be an asshole. But I'm saying you need to live your journey. Like if you are coming out to people that you love, maybe, and I'm not one to preach. I don't know people need to do. I don't know anything, but I know a lot about communication. Definitely try to think about what you're saying in the other person's perspective. Try and run that past, try and prefix some stuff. Try and say some things like, I really love you. I'm telling you this because I care about you. I'm telling this because you're important to me. I talk to you because I care about your opinion. Like maybe, give them a little build up before the boom. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, doesn't hurt. Like, they birthed you. Like, I don't
They
know.
birthed you, Karissa?
Maybe they're a real asshole. I don't know if they birthed you. I don't know who they are. But I'm saying when you break it to people, just think about them too, and then fucking be like, and I love sucking dick.
I
No,
love
don't say
sucking
that.
dick.
Don't.
Well, I don't like sucking dick. I
But
like when my
you
dick
don't?
my no, I like when my
Oh,
dick is sucked for me.
I don't know.
But
You can leave that part out. That part's personal. You know.
I don't fucking care. But like I'm the type of person that like has no problem giving a hand job when it's necessary. I've got good hands, they're creative hands.
People can
And
give themselves hand jobs.
true, but I like to be a little complimentary sometimes.
No, 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 no. I mean, that's good. I'm just saying, like, you can do more than that, David.
Oh, for sure. I can do a lot of things. Just call me. A toll-free
Call
number.
me. Call me.
Call me.
I love the month of June. I'm so happy that it's Pride month. That
It's
June
hot
is
as shit
is
outside. Yeah.
for you. It is.
Yeah. It's Florida.
Maybe we can make a plan that for our retirement we're like snowbirds and you spend your summers in Iowa and your winters down there, and that way you don't have to be so hot during the summer. What do you think about that? When we're rich, you spend
When
your
and if,
your
my
summer up here.
darling, maybe.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? This
I.
podcast, me and you, millions of dollars.
Oh
Woo,
my
woo, woo,
god.
woo, 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 woo. Our fans
Listen.
are listening right now. They're like, hell yeah. They're like
Fuck
cheering
yeah.
for us. They're like, yes.
They're like, we want to hear these people live on stage.
Live
On stage. With the
from Times
tobacco.
Square.
With the tobacco. With a gay flag. The original gay flag.
Oh, ooh. Is the original gay flag like controversial right now?
A little bit, but this is I've had this flag up for a long time.
That's what she said.
Honey child, that's what he said, my darling.
Damn. He and
So,
she. It's quite a party.
it is a party. When they're, see, I'm being inclusive.
Yes. They
Them.
they were all there.
Caesar.
It was quite the party.
It was. Till they went shabang.
You know who wasn't there? The listeners.
The listeners weren't there. You know who else wasn't there? The gay vampire discos.
But if the listeners want to come to a party sometime, I'll throw a party and it'll be me and you and all the listeners. And we can have a party.
There'll be an elephant provided by the Ringley Brothers Circus.
Actually,
We're not bringing an elephant. What?
Right. What's the circus family down in Sarasota? Yeah, we can use them. We'll go to there. We'll have a party there.
Yay. Bring
Okay.
Quaaludes too. We'll have a lot of fun.
No, there's no Quaaludes.
No Quaaludes. All right.
But I mean, we can have whatever,
Yeah, whatever's available to us.
Promise a gay vampire won't suck your blood at the party.
We promise.
I do promise that.
I do
Very
too.
solidly. Yeah.
Cross my fingers, hope to spit.
No, like
So-
I promise it like confidently. It's weird. It's a
It
weird
is.
episode. It's a good
It
one.
was a weird episode. We talked about gay vampires. Ladies and gentlemen, we
I
proudly
cried.
present to you. I mean, it was better than the last ending that we did in which was vagina piercings.
Why someone doesn't pick us up and start sponsoring us and making these podcasts for us like Wayne's World, I have no idea.
I mean, because like, if there's anybody that's still listening at this
This is
point,
gold. This is
first
the best
off, we
podcast.
love
Yeah.
you. Let's just say that we love you. We don't want to have sex with you. We promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just want to give you adult-rated content when and if available.
Vampires give really bad blowjobs.
Probably. I mean, because they're not used to sucking each step. You didn't even like fucking finish like what I had to say. It was just like
It's the hit that I took. I fucked it all up.
it's like when you like hire somebody to do the blowjob and like they bring you a vampire, like no. Like this is like this is not this is not gonna work. This is bad publicity.
Get him out of here!
Get him fucking out of here. Like, he doesn't know how to suck. Like, really know how to suck, okay?
Like a little less teeth.
Get a little less girth, honey child. Be a little more soft, please. It's like having like a fucking cat suck your cock, basically.
Cat tongue?
No, because of the fangs.
Sandpaper tongue.
Ooh.
I realize that if I talk about gay shit, you don't care if the podcast goes longer.
So if you want to check out Karissa, you can find her on American Group. On Instagram at American Group.
It's pretty good.
I was quick that time because seriousness, so you can find her on Instagram at American Pod. If you want to check out more of the podcast, you can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Lost in the Groove Pod. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Peace. I'm sorry I cried. I'm glad you guys
it's good that you cried. We got emotion, some rawness, some feelness, some sucking.
Thank you for containing my emotions for me.
It should be a song. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, it's good. It's clean.
Yeah, very perverted.
Done.
Wow.